Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. And no cup of tea tonight. Tonight it's true crime with a glass of wine. And I've got some nice red wine in here with ice. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm thirsty because we've been for a what buffet. I did put a post on the community. Um, oh my God. So, I'm just recovering from that. Course, I've eaten too much, like you're always doing those things, but I didn't eat as much as my son ate. But even it took him a long time to get full because he is 6'5" and he's a heavyweight boxer, so he's a big strong lad. But he did finally get there. I thought, oh my God, how long are we going to have to sit here? But he did finally get there and get full. It was lovely, actually. It was really, really nice. So I'll sleep well tonight. I've been fed well tonight. And look at this. I am not in the mood for twonks today. My sweater arrived. Well, there's a story. There's always a story, isn't there? There's a story behind this sweater. One thing I want to say, if anybody ever decides to order, a sweater, they are the size that you think you are, if that makes sense. Because I ordered a lot. I always order, when you order online, you always have to order a little bit bigger, don't you? Because they always seem to come up smaller. And of course, you can't try it on and I cannot be bothered sending it back. So I ordered a size bigger and unfortunately, I've just got I am only 5'2". I've got very short arms. I'm what's called short-waisted. When I was in the UK, I used to always buy petite clothes from British home stores, and Littlewoods used to do lovely clothes in like petite. So there'd be a shorter waist or shorter sleeves, because that's the thing mainly. It's not about the rest of it. You are either, whatever size you are. But sometimes even if you could be a size 12 or a size 14, but the arms are really long, so the petites were good. But anyway, I'm going to have to chop these off, I think, because I'm going to have to maybe alter those because they're a little bit long, or I might just use it if I only wear. I probably will only wear it around the house or as a nightie. And of course, when I'm doing my videos, but I do really like it, and it's a nice material because it's not too thick. So you're not like really boiling in it, but anyway. But there is a story behind it because I actually ordered this ages ago. I ordered it beginning of December, hoping that it would be here for Christmas. Then, of course, in Spain, you've got the Christmas, then you've got the Kings, then you've got the New Year. So hung on. And I thought, it's just taking a long time to come because it's holidays and people are sending things. The post is busy. And then I noticed last week, around about the 15th of January, roundabout, I can't remember the exact date, I noticed that it was stuck in transit. It hadn't moved since the 5th of January. When you go onto your tracking, since the 5th of January, there'd been no change in its status. So I contacted Printify, who is because I don't make my merchandise. I set up the shop and everything, but the people who make it Printify and it's Shopify, and they take most of. It's like you make a little bit of money on it, but the point of the merchandise for me wasn't about the money. I like, from now every month I'm going to send a member some merchandise. I wanted people to have the merchandise. I wanted to have it, to wear it for a bit of fun. So I contacted Printify and I said, and I showed it, I sent them a screenshot and I said, look, this hasn't moved since the 5th of January. And it was roundabout, I can't remember the exact date, but it was about the 12th or 13th, maybe 14th or 15th, I don't know. So they refunded me instantly. To be fair, they were very good. They just said, oh, it's probably got lost in transit if it hasn't moved since the 5th of January. It's gone past because they have a limit date that they say they will deliver for. It's gone past that delivery date now. So we would consider it lost in transit. And if you like, we'll refund you. So I said, oh, okay then. Well, of course, it's arrived now. So, don't know if I'm supposed to tell them or whatever, but yeah, so it arrived today. When we went to the buffet earlier, when we got back, it had been delivered. So there you go. I've got my little sweater with my face on. I won't be wearing it out around my village, I don't think, but I will wear it in the house. So, right, where am I? So, yeah, so we went to the buffet. We've had a lovely time. I'm a bit stuffed. I'm on the red wine now. I couldn't have a drink while I was there because I was driving, but I'm quite thirsty, even though I've been drinking loads of water, but I'm waffling, aren't I? So tonight we're going to talk about Jennifer Dulos. And this is it's a horrible story, like a lot of these true crime stories are. But this, again, one of those particularly horrible stories. This is a story of coercive control, domestic abuse, lying, cowardice, a total twonk and a twonkess and another twonk that are involved in this case. And Jennifer Dulos disappeared. And she has never, even now, has not been found. So we're going to talk about the story of Jennifer Dulos and the horrible people that left 5 children without a mother. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. First of all, I'm just going to say hello to everybody. And I can see there's a lot of you there as usual. Hey, Chumba, you were the first. Hi, Rio. Rio's working again. Push to try and watch every so often. Yeah, do you know, if you get, what it's like when you're at work and it's quiet, if you work in a bar or something like that or anything, it's horrible when it's too quiet because it does go very, very slowly, very, very painstakingly. It's much better when it's busy because before you know it's over, isn't it? Hi, David. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Amethyst. We meet again. Hi, Brenda. Hope you're well, Brenda. Hope you're feeling better. Chumba's asking how you are as well. Hi, Charlie. You've had fish and chips, I presume, Charlie. Hi, Ocean. I knew it. There you go. He always has fish and chips on a Friday. Brenda. Yeah, January's depressing, isn't it? Can be depressing, but it won't be next week when we have the Burns night. We're going to have fun. Oh, thank you, Amethyst. My hair looks nice. Hi, Maggie. Kelly's got a short-waisted, Kelly. That's what we call it, short-waisted. I know, British Home Stores. I used to love British Home Store. Hi, Jean, Lady Dog Lover. Hope you're feeling a bit better. Hi, Maltese. Raining where you are, Charlie. It's been raining here, actually, but it's not cold. It's really warm, but it's been raining, like not torrential rain, just spitting. It felt like Manchester rain. So it's been quite nice. I've enjoyed it, to be honest. Hi, Annie. Now, I'm surprised, Charlie, that you're not aware of this case. It's a very famous case internationally. But I think it was 2015 she went missing. I'll check in a moment. So it's gone on it took a long time to bring anyone to justice in this case. There's a trial going on at the moment. As we speak, the trial is going on. We'll be watching a little bit of the trial. And the trial is of Jennifer's husband's girlfriend. And I'll explain why it's only her who's on trial at the moment later. Hi, Annie. Hi, Maria. Hi, Exotic. The 101 Dalmatians tonight, yeah. There's a lot of people here. Hi, Mello. Mello's attending to the fish tank. You're not going to take one out and fry it for a Friday, are you? Oh, good. I'm glad you're okay now, Jean. There you go. I think I'm more or less back to the bottom, down to the bottom. So let's have a look at Jennifer first. So Jennifer was a 50-year. Oh no, I'll tell you what we'll look at first. We'll look at where it happened, and it happened in Connecticut. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm rubbish at pronouncing. Do you know, since there's something, it's good, Maria will know, it's good when you speak two languages, but then you find that you're always pronouncing things wrong in one language or another. You get confused between them. It's quite strange, really. Now, I looked up. Yes, this is where it happened. In New Canaan in Connecticut in the USA. It's 3:42 p.m. there at the moment, and it's -3 degrees. And this is where poor Jennifer, not this particular house, but this is where Jennifer lived with her husband. Not a very nice man, let's say. Complete twonk, in fact. Complete twonk. Let's have a look now at some pictures. So here's Jennifer and Fotis. Fotis Dulos is Greek descent. He was originally from Greece. And here we have his girlfriend, and she is the one who's on trial at the moment, Michelle. And I don't know about you, but she, I know you shouldn't say it, but she's got a very hard look about her. I mean, she might be the nicest person in the world. Whereas when you look at Jennifer's face, she's just got that lovely, open, smiley, you can just look at her and know that she's a nice person. I know it doesn't always mean everything, the way people look, but I don't mean about whether they're attractive or not attractive, but it's something in the face and the expression. And the least said about this twonk, the better. But anyway, we have to talk about him because we have to find out. Oh, nice to see she's upset as she goes on trial for murder of the mother of 5 children. So basically, Michelle Troconis, she is the person who is on trial at the moment. And I have been watching the trial live, but they've gone for a break, I think, at the moment. I think they're still on a break. Let me just see. Yeah. Are they still on a break? Oh, I'm not sure if they are or not. But anyway, I've been watching it. You can watch it live. It's being televised. Now, there's been a total meltdown. Oh, gosh. Well, let me tell you the story first. You don't know. It's one of those stories that you don't know where to begin. So basically, what happened was Jennifer and Fotis were married for about 14 years, and they had 5 children together. And then it came to a point where the relationship started to break down a little bit. And Jennifer was pretty certain that Fotis was having an affair with Michelle. And, she had her suspicions. And in the end, he admitted to her that he was having an affair with Michelle. They're very rich people. Michelle is like a socialite, whatever that is. I think she comes from a very wealthy family, Venezuelan family. So she's having an interpreter at this court case, even though she does speak English. But it's probably a good thing that she's having an interpreter because, if there was any issue later on, she could probably claim, or her lawyer or whatever could claim that she hadn't understood properly or whatever. So there is an interpreter there for her, even though she does actually speak English. And basically, her and Fotis were having an affair. He finally confessed it to Jennifer, and Jennifer wanted a divorce, understandably. So she did try initially to sort of sort it out and to carry on the relationship. Hi, Heather. Have I missed anyone else coming in? No, I don't think so. So she was trying to, make things right and to stay together with Fotis for the sake of the children. But as time went on, she just didn't want to. He was abusive towards her, physically and verbally. And in the end, she was absolutely terrified of him. And when she eventually filed for divorce, she moved into a hotel with the children because she was too terrified to file for divorce while she still lived with him. She was so terrified of what he might do. She moved into a hotel, and not only she moved into a hotel, but she employed a security guard to stand outside the door of the hotel because she literally was terrified for her life. So how he finally, got her to go and see him or not, I'm not really sure. Nobody knows the answer to that. But she did, unfortunately, eventually she did go and see him. And that's where it's believed, and that's what the trial is about now. That's where it's believed he lured her to their house, to the garage, and something happened in the garage. Now, they don't know what for sure because, as I say, her body has never been found. But they found a lot of DNA, a lot of blood spatter. That's what they're mainly talking about at the moment in this trial. So it's horrible. Yeah, it's very, very sad. And it became an internationally known case because there was all this talk about it being like, sometimes people refer to it as the real Gone Girl. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever read the novel Gone Girl, and they actually made a film out of it, didn't they? And this case is nothing like Gone Girl. It's ridiculous that they say things like that. He tried to plant that in people's minds as well, because he said, because I think Jennifer, she was a writer, and he said that he had found a script similar to the Gone Girl script. And if you don't know the story of Gone Girl, it was a woman who pretended she'd gone missing to make it look as if her husband had murdered her, whereas really she had deliberately gone missing and sort of planted blood and, to cast aspersions on her husband. So it's so sometimes people refer to it as the Gone Girl case, but it is nothing like Gone Girl because that's not the case. She did not do it just to make him look guilty. He was guilty, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So that's caused a big stir in this case today. So the person who's on trial at the moment is his lover, Michelle Troconis. And today in the courtroom, it was very dramatic because it was discovered that two of the jurors had referred to this as the Gone Girl case. Two of the jurors, and one had referred to it as that on Instagram, on social media, and it had been found out. So it looked like they were already thinking that it was some sort of staged thing. It was like a prejudice thing. And it caused a massive fuss this morning in the court case, and they closed the court while the judge spoke to each individual juror, and everything was kicking off because really it's true that nowadays, once someone gets selected for jury duty in a famous case like this, they have to be shut up as far as social media is concerned. But how do you do that? Because it can't compromise the case. The thing is, in this case, if Michelle is found guilty, which I've got to be honest, she evidently is guilty. Well, you tell me what you think when I tell you about the evidence in a moment. She probably is guilty. Of course, there's always that. But if there's a room for doubt, if there's any aspersions cast over the jury, that gives her solicitor the right to, call for an appeal, etc. So social media in that way is going to be quite dangerous as far as juries are concerned, because the juries are not supposed to discuss the cases with anyone. Hi, DMV. So let's have a look what happened. Let's see. So there's very, very damning evidence, let's say, against, because there's some CCTV evidence of Michelle and Fotis, which we're going to look at, disposing of items in different bins around the area, which may well have been, unfortunately, parts of Jennifer even, because Jennifer has never been found. So this is him, the King Twonk. This is the big Twonk. He's the hateful, horrible person. So when Jennifer asked for a divorce, or decided to divorce him, bearing in mind, because he was having an affair, admittedly having an affair with Michelle Troconis, he kicked off big time and said if she divorced him and took the children away from him, he would kidnap the children and take them to Greece, which was his home country, and she would never see them again. So that's why it took her so long to actually divorce him. And she was absolutely terrified of him because he had threatened her on many, many occasions. So this is a news article. We're going to look at quite a few things, a few videos, etc. So Fotis and Jennifer, let's go right up to the top. So what we're going to look at here, I think this is the Mail, is it? Yeah, the Daily Mail. There were some text messages released that Twonk had sent to his 5 kids' nanny hours after murdering his wife Jennifer with the help of his socialite lover. So now the thing is, this Twonk, he's escaped justice and he is not only a Twonk but a coward. He's left Michelle to face it all because he, after in prison, he took his own life. So he's gone. So those children not only took away their mother, he's now, well, maybe they're better off without him, I don't know, but they've lost their mother and they've lost their father. He just didn't want to face anything. He could not face the music. And what a nice, Michelle deserves it, to be honest, because she's a Twonk as well. But he's left Michelle to face the music. Absolute tosspot. He is. Absolute tosspot. Okay, so chilling text sent by Fotis Dulos the day after he allegedly murdered his wife in her Connecticut home have been shown in court. Jurors were shown messages the Greek national sent to their nanny, Lauren Almeida, asking her for any news on his 50-year-old wife's disappearance on May the 24th, 2019. So he's sending messages knowing full well that he's murdered Jennifer, sending messages to the nanny, asking if she's heard anything. Anyway, just hours after the state say he butchered her, Fotis asked for updates on Jennifer. On how their children were doing, and he told her that he'd spoken with the police. So they were embroiled in an acrimonious divorce and child custody proceedings at the time, but he had not yet been identified as a suspect. However, later he was charged with murder while his new partner, Michelle Troconis, was accused of helping him conceal the crime. He then killed himself, aged 52, in January 2020, leaving Troconis to face the music alone. And her trial began last Thursday, so That was last week, yeah, with the nanny 32 giving evidence this week. So here's the nanny. She had the children with her at the time. Well, 4 of them. One of the children had gone to visit a friend and she had the others with her. So jurors were shown messages that Dulos sent to their nanny asking her for updates on his 50-year-old wife's disappearance. So poor Jennifer, she vanished on May the 24th, 2019, amid a divorce from her husband Fotis. He was later charged with murder. He killed himself in January 2020 and left Michelle to face trial alone. Here's Michelle. I don't know, she's just got that look about her, and I feel awful. Well, not really, because you'll see from the CCTV we're going to see soon. She knew what was going on. It seems likely that she knew exactly whether she actually participated in the murder or not, but she certainly participated in the disposal and the concealment of the murder, because she has been caught on CCTV. Okay, now these are the messages from Fotis. Hello, no update so far. Laurel is at the police station right now, keeping me updated, but they don't have anything yet. They looked around the house, but it all seemed fine. I'm trying to get the kids to get some sleep. So I think that's her saying that. And he says, okay, thank you. Please call me first thing in the morning. Yes, I will. If I hear anything tonight, I'll let you know. So jurors saw messages from Fotis to the nanny at 9:49 p.m. on the day of the killing. It's on the same day, asking her to call him in the morning. Almeida said she asked police whether she should respond, and they said it was fine because he was not a suspect at the time. So she was already suspicious of Fotis, because as she'd been the nanny for so long, she had seen his rages. She had seen him. There was one instance that she talked about where she was in the house with one of the children, and Fotis didn't know she was in the house, and he started arguing with Jennifer, and Jennifer came running upstairs into the bedroom, terrified, and she closed the door behind her and was holding the door shut, and he was banging on the door and shouting and calling her names and telling her he would kill her, etc. And then when he finally came into the room and saw that the nanny was there with one of his daughters, she said he just changed completely, and tried to backtrack and say, oh, come on, Jennifer, I just want to talk, and blah, 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 blah. So, she'd seen that twonk side of him. So when she went round to, when Jennifer stopped responding to her calls and messages, when she was trying to make an arrangement of what she should do with the children, where she should drop them off, she instantly thought that Fotis had something to do with it. She said her heart sunk when she arrived at the house and saw that Jennifer's car was still there, but Jennifer wasn't there. She just knew, and she just felt that, that sick feeling that you feel. So the next day at 5:39, he texted her saying, any news? She replied, telling him the police were still searching the home. And he kept asking for updates several more times in the days that followed, along with queries about how his children were doing. So the children stayed with the nanny. So she said that he had a scheduled visit with the kids in a few days, and he kept pressing her to make sure she would bring them to him on time. And she described his demeanor as weird. Now, the children are still in her care. The nanny is still looking after the children. She wore a silver necklace with a number 5 on it while giving evidence, possibly an allusion to the 5 Dulos children who are still in her care. Those poor children. Anyway, the trial had heard earlier that the wealthy Dulos couple enjoyed an idyllic life with their 5 kids, who were aged between 8 and 13 at the time of Jennifer's disappearance. But their marriage deteriorated around the time Jennifer busted Fotis's affair with Troconis in March 2017, when they were all holidaying at a private ski club in Aspen with the children. Anyway, we've got a few more messages here that went between the nanny and Fotis. Called them at 2:30 and 5:30, no news. They just told me they're still searching, etc., etc. And then Lauren, it's Fotis. How are the children doing? The kids are doing okay, getting ready to sleep. Yeah, what a twonk. So he's pretending that he doesn't know anything, and all the time he knows that on that day he murdered Jennifer quite brutally, because there was a lot of blood, and then disposed of things around the area. He's seen on the CCTV that we're going to look at shortly, disposing of items, let's say, in bins and things around that area. So the nanny said that Jennifer grew afraid of her husband and tried to escape from their home with the kids 2 months later to file for a divorce from the safety of the Mandarin Oriental, a 5-star hotel in Manhattan. And the nanny, who stayed with them and still lives with the Dulos children, who are now aged between 13 and 17, said Jennifer even hired a bodyguard to stand outside her hotel room door. She should have had that bodyguard with her all the time, shouldn't she? God, if only you could wind back time, and that bodyguard should have been with her every minute of the day. Anyway, the nanny said that Jennifer and the kids stayed at the Mandarin Oriental for 1 week before moving to their first rental in New Canaan, Connecticut. So I think that's where she was living when she was murdered. So he must have gone there and just waited there for her. So 8 days later, a child custody case between Jennifer and Fotis started at the same court where Troconis' trial is being held, and Almeida testified on Jennifer's behalf. And she told the court she saw Fotis in the corridor with his lawyers, and he made aggressive comments towards her. He came at me, yelling at me, again accusing me of kidnapping his kids, and I just walked away. So basically we can see, oh look, here's a lovely picture of Jennifer with her 5 children. So she's got 3 boys and 2 girls, so close in age. It's heartbreaking what he's done to those children. And there's him with the twonkess, anyway. I've got no words for this woman. I've got no words for either of them. So she's fallen in love with him, and he was more important than a mother and her 5 children to her. Yeah, horrible. She, just horrible. How could she? Let's have a look at this video. Sorry. Hi, Wesley. Hi, Jim. Hi, Maria, if I haven't said hello. If there's anybody else I've missed, I'm sorry. I'll try and get you in a bit. The only way I feel anything sorry for her is because she has been left to deal with it alone. But you know what? She chose him. He was her Prince Charming. Look how he turned out. So he got her to help him murder his wife, and then he just took himself out of this world. So she had to face it all on her own. So she makes a good choice in men, doesn't she? God, I thought I had a bad choice in men. I've never chosen a man like that yet. You never know, there's always time. Anyway, that's her arriving at the court. Now, there's more to this story as well, because not only him and her, but also involved, and also he will be facing charges, is his lawyer, his previous lawyer. And it seems like there may have been a sort of a pact between him and his lawyer, who was a friend of his, to kill his wife as well, because he's going to face court as well. And there's this that will come out at court, the exact story, but it's at his property, the lawyer's property. They found a grave had actually been dug out, a shallow grave, and lime put in the shallow grave. And it's thought that he was planning to kill his wife as well. He'd helped Dulos kill Jennifer and hide her body, and that Dulos then would be helping him kill his wife and help him hide her body. And it had already been prepared at the house, at the mansion where they lived, in the grounds. I mean, it's just awful. Anyway, okay, so let's have a look at something else now. It's always the same with these things, isn't it? It's like truth is stranger than fiction. You couldn't make it up. You could not make up a story like this, where you've got a man who's, you know, murders his wife, gets his girlfriend to help with it, not only gets his girlfriend to help with it, but gets his lawyer to help with it in exchange for the fact he's going to help his lawyer kill his wife. Then it all comes out and they get arrested. So the guy, he actually deletes himself and leaves everybody else to face the music. It's crackers, isn't it? I mean, it's just unbelievable. Now, so at first, when the police immediately suspected Dulos when Jennifer disappeared, when they went into her house and they found lots of DNA, and they felt like there'd been a crime committed there. There was blood. They've been through all the blood evidence this morning in the court case. You know, obviously it's long-winded and it goes on, but basically, you know, they found a lot of blood in the garage of Jennifer's house. And it's felt that she was, you know, he was lying in wait there and either attacked her, either shot her or stabbed her. They're not sure because they've got no body. All they know that there's copious amounts of DNA and blood. There was an attempt to clean it up, but of course it's difficult, isn't it, to clear up blood? So he didn't manage it. He wasn't as clever as he thought he was. But he couldn't be arrested at first because, you know, there was no evidence. But what happened then was, and I'm going to show you these CCTV. So the police did really well again. You know, the police, they put together a case out of nothing, basically. And it's hard to put together a case when there's no body, isn't it? But they examined the CCTV from the area, and these are the things that they found. So I'm going to show you what they found. Very short bits of CCTV. But hi Tracy, hope you're well. Let's have a look. So let me put it back to the beginning. So they found the CCTV of his car. Where's it gone now? There you go. I think there are two videos. So he stopped here at a bin. He gets out of his car, comes round. Oh, sorry, I thought that was. Putting stuff in the bin. Now, this was what was very condemning for Michelle. She was in the car as well. So she knew he was dropping off whether, you know, whether she's going to say she didn't know what was in the bags or whatever. but she was in the car, so she knew that he was stopping at various bins and places and dropping off items. Don't know what he just took over there. He's just taken something over there and dropped it in the corner. And off he goes to the next place. Okay. Let me just find the next one. I'm sure there's more than that, because there was one where he's putting stuff. Let's have a look. Gosh, the internet's acting up tonight. Sorry, it's buffering a little bit. So she's charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Now, I thought there was more CCTV than that. I was sure that there was. I'm going to see if I can find it. Let's see. Oh.
As police searched Jennifer
Farber Dulos' crime scene. This is the body cam when the police went into the garage.
Testimony now underway for the woman accused of helping to cover up the death of Jennifer Dulos, a Connecticut mother of 5.
CBS 2's Tony Aiello has more from the courthouse in Stamford and new video from the alleged crime scene.
It was an eerie flashlit scene as police searched Jennifer Farber Dulos' multi-million-dollar home, captured on police body cam.
It's like a pattern here.
New Canaan, Connecticut police spotting alarming evidence near an SUV in her garage.
I observed what appeared to be a footprint, reddish in color, could have been a footprint of blood.
The state has brought charges against Michelle Troconis.
Yeah, he's one of them that thinks he's clever, doesn't he? He's not that clever. There's a big fucking footprint there in blood in the middle of the floor in the garage. A big footprint, for God's sake. So, you know, obviously, if he would not have deleted himself, he took himself away from this world because he knew the game was up. He knew the evidence was too strong against him, that he cocked up big time. You know, these twonks, they think they're so clever, and then they're absolutely not clever at all. You know, to leave a great big blood footprint there. You know, he didn't think about it. He didn't plan it very well, did he? He's disposing of evidence, like where this CCTV in the middle of the street. Why did he not dispose of it at night? Or, you know, just there's a million things he could have done that would have been cleverer, but he thought he was so clever. Luckily, because I'm glad obviously that they've been caught, though it's annoying that he's not there to face the music, you know, because he's took the mother from his own children. You know, that is Michelle Troconis. She's an idiot as well, but they're not her children, they're his children. You know, she probably you know, it's awful what she's done, but what he's done is so much worse.
Evan Randolph is presiding at the trial of Michelle Troconis, accused of murder conspiracy and evidence tampering. In May 2019, she was dating Fotis Dulos, who was in the middle of a bitter divorce and custody battle. Thursday's testimony focused on May 24, 2019, the day Jennifer Farber Dulos disappeared.
The caller stated that Jennifer did not go to a doctor's appointment in New York City and that she was missing.
The prosecution going step by step. The missing woman's SUV found near Waveney Park. Surveillance video shown to the jury to establish the time frame of the alleged murder between 8:15 and 10 a.m. that morning. Prosecutors say over the next few weeks, they'll prove Michelle Troconis conspired in the crime and helped Fotis Dulos dispose of evidence. Her family says,
yeah, that was see that piece of CCTV there? That was a big thing against her because he dropped something on the floor and she reached out to get it. So she can't even pretend that she didn't know he was throwing things in bins or whatever.
Her family says she's innocent.
This is a tragedy to all of us, and also
her family says she's innocent.
This is
Troconis conspired in the crime and helped Fotis Dulos dispose of evidence. Her family says she's innocent.
This is a tragedy to all of us.
So I think that whatever it was she picked up off the floor there, it had some of Jennifer's blood on it or whatever. So that was a key thing against her, that she could not say she did not know what he was doing.
And also to the other family and to the children.
5 Dulos children who lost both parents. Jennifer's body has not been found. Last year, a judge declared her dead. Fotis Dulos died by suicide this month 4 years ago after being charged with murder. The children are in the custody of their maternal grandmother. Gloria Farber was here at the courthouse today. The trial expected to last up to 6 weeks.
So they're in the custody of the grandmother, but the nanny is still helping to look after them. So they've got some continuity, if you like, at least some continuity, because that nanny has been involved in their lives for quite a long time. So that's probably the most consistency, you know, in their lives at the moment. Well, and their grandma, of course, but the nanny probably had even more to do with them than the grandma.
In Stamford, Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
So very sad, isn't it? It's a very sad story. Now, let me just read to you about this thing about it was as I started researching this, something that I didn't know, because I've known about this case for quite a long time because I watch a lot of crime videos, etc. So I'd seen about this case quite a while ago. But of course, it's taken ages for it to come to trial. Probably because of what happened to him, and then COVID, of course, has sort of put a lot of trials back, didn't it? But I didn't know about the lawyer. So this is Fotis's attorney, Kent Mawhinney, and he will be prosecuted as well for charges to do with Jennifer's murder. And it is thought this weird pact that had been made between that in some way this lawyer helped the Dulos's attorney helped in the murder in exchange for the fact that Fotis was going to help him murder his wife. And I hadn't known about that. So I don't know because what happened with him was he became estranged from his wife after being accused of spousal rape. So this is the Dulos's attorney. And his wife went to the police, and she told the police that she feared that they were working together to try and kill her. So she suspected that they were trying to kill her. And after Jennifer disappeared, so Jennifer had disappeared, and they didn't know what had happened to her. When they went to search the attorney's property, they found a shallow grave filled with 2 bags of lime and a blue tarp. And it was a sniffer dog that discovered the grave, but there was no body in the grave. So Jennifer was not in that grave, but whether that grave had been prepared for Jennifer or whether that grave had been prepared for the next victim, which would have been his attorney's wife, nobody knows. So, he's another one. So I think, I'm not sure what's he going to be charged for. He's being held on bond. Oh, he was released. He was released on bond in 2020. Well, he wouldn't dare kill his wife now, would he? Because if he killed his wife now, everybody would know that it'd be to do, everybody would know it'd be to do with this case. But Dulos, I thought he committed suicide in prison, but he didn't. He was released on bond as well. And he was due to appear in court on January the 28th. Oh, God, it's coming up to the anniversary, isn't it? On January the 28th, 2020, he was due to appear in court for a bond hearing. And he didn't appear, so the police went round to his home and he was found in an unresponsive state. And he'd poisoned himself with carbon monoxide by running a vacuum cleaner hose from the exhaust pipe of his SUV into the interior of the car. What a coward. Absolute coward. You can't even face up to what you've done. Anyway, they did manage to perform CPR and found a faint pulse, transported him to hospital by ambulance, but he was taken off the life support machine after he'd been visited by his children. And that was the first time his children had seen their father after the murder, the accused or the alleged murder of their mother. They were called to the hospital, and then he was pronounced dead, and the life support machine was turned off. And he'd left a suicide note in his car, and his suicide note said, "I refuse to spend even an hour more in jail for something I had nothing to do with." You think he could have left a note at least saying what had happened, where she was? Oh my God, he had a new girlfriend by then. Oh my God, what? Oh. So by then he's involved this woman in the murder of his wife. She's been charged with accomplice, and he's now got a new girlfriend. Anna Curry, she apparently was at the home in the morning of his suicide. Oh God, crazy, just crazy. I don't know. So the thing is, it doesn't seem very likely, unfortunately, that Jennifer is going to be found. Because what he may have done, of course, is, he may have, I mean, it's awful to think of, but of course he may have disposed of her in different rubbish bins or whatever, or maybe she is buried somewhere, and maybe one day she will be found, and at least she'll be given a decent burial, or who knows. But I don't know. Am I have I missed anyone coming in to say hello? Anybody asking questions? Thank you, David. Yes, please hit the like button. Thank you. I always forget to say it. I should remember. But what do you think about it? I mean, anyway, so it's going on now. Let's have a look at it, because we can actually go over to, because it's still daytime. Let me just share this. The actual court case is going on at the moment. Let me put the sound up.
Do you recognize the area or what is depicted in that photograph?
I do. It's a Jefferson Crossing, kind of running across the screen, and Eli Road, which turns into Deer Cliff, kind of going up and down the street.
Well, Sergeant Ventresca can approach the screen.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Okay, so you have Jefferson Crossing there, Deer Cliff, which turns into Eli Road over here.
And at what point does Deer Cliff turn into Eli?
I want to say right just north of 4 Jefferson Crossing,
Okay. And when you say,
assuming that's true north right there.
do you know what residence was Fotis Dulos's?
Yeah. 4 Jefferson Crossing.
That's 4 Jefferson Crossing. And the other houses around it, do you know the addresses?
Yeah, this is 2 Jefferson Crossing, 1 Jefferson Crossing. And then I could tell you that that's 77 Eli Road right there.
And why do you point out 77 Eli Road?
I also had stopped at 77 Eli Road on that Sunday, the 26th.
Why did you stop on that road?
During our cursory canvas, driving down Eli, we noticed that there was a camera on one of the stone pillars outside of the residence, a really clear shot of the camera. Obviously, we knocked on the door, got consent from the owner to view that video. Ultimately, detectives went back up and seized video from the house.
Okay. You didn't seize that video?
No, it was like something with the size of the file that day. So we had to send detectives back up. We generated a lead and they went back up the following days.
Now, I'm going to show you picture 2. What is that a photograph of, sir?
The 4 Jefferson Crossing. Obviously, we have police cars in the driveway, but looks like 4 Jefferson Crossing.
I think that's her house then.
And picture 3.
Which they think she was murdered.
Is 4 Jefferson Crossing on that map? No, it's.
Appears to be right there.
If I may, I'm gonna. Is it depicted on there? Is the one with the yellow?
Yeah, right here with the yellow. I mean, I'm assuming that's.
Yes. And this is, you said Eli?
Yeah, Jefferson Crossing, Eli.
And where is Mountain Spring Road?
Mountain Spring Road is, go down, oh, actually, I have a pivot. It's right over here, 80 Mountain Spring.
And did you go there as well?
Yes.
Okay. Show you picture 4.
Okay, that's 80 Mountain Spring.
And picture 5.
80 Mountain Spring.
Now, this sign out in front, what is that?
It appears to be, it looks like a 4-group promo for sale.
Friday, May 24th, 2019. Did you receive any text messages from Jennifer's phone on the morning?
Okay, I think what we're going to look at instead, this is the nanny, because I'm not, that is the live court thing that we were watching, and it's difficult to see exactly what they were trying to say there. But this is the nanny. Let's have a look at the actual testimony of the nanny.
2019. Did you receive any text messages from Jennifer's phone on the morning of May 24th?
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask that we call. And actually, I'm just going to. Just before we get to there, I want to just button up. Okay. Can you, those are difficult to read.
Well, we did have a look at these actually
This is
earlier,
where
the
we
text
left off. If we
messages.
can just continue on to the next page. This is page 2 of folder 1, text message from Jennifer. So this is now page
Yeah, we had a
2.
look at the text messages. Let's see, I want to hear the nanny actually
Directing your attention
talking.
to Wednesday, May 22nd.
Petros had it when he was not allowed to have it because he downloaded it.
Okay. And so when she's saying I took Instagram off, she's referring to some tablet or computer that
Yes.
Petros had?
Yes.
Okay. And she's indicating he's allowed to have it now?
Yes.
Okay. And what does this mean? Petros is bringing lax sticks he has to bring home.
Yeah, so Petros played lacrosse, so he was bringing the lacrosse stick to school because I think he was playing after school.
So you received these messages in the morning.
Mhm.
What time did you arrive at 69 Wells Lane that day?
I got there, I think it was close to 11.
When you say 11 in the morning,
11 in the morning, yeah.
how did you get there?
I drove my car.
Did you make any stops prior to getting to 69 Wells Lane?
Yes.
Where did you stop?
I stopped at the restaurant chain Subway to get sandwiches for everybody.
And when you got to 69 Wells Lane, how did you enter the home?
Like I always do. So I typed in the code to the middle garage and went through the middle bay.
And then through the mudroom door?
Yes, and through the mudroom door.
Did you notice anything unusual when you went into the garage?
When I went into the garage, yes, the Range Rover was still there and the Suburban was gone when she told me she would be taking the Range Rover.
Did you see any blood-like substances in the garage or on the floor?
No.
After you walked in the garage, where did you go?
So I enter through the mudroom and I usually put my stuff. She had these cubbies and I put my stuff in the cubby and then I go to the kitchen. So I went in the kitchen.
When you got to the kitchen, did you notice anything unusual?
A couple things, yes.
Tell the jury what you noticed.
So first, her purse was on the floor. It was between the mudroom and the kitchen, like the doorway. It was a big, like, structured purse. And I thought it was just a little odd because it was a really nice handbag and it was on the floor. But I didn't look in the bag, so I just kind of figured she took her phone and her wallet with her.
You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes I think, imagine walking into something like that. So you just don't, you know, she's just, you know, oblivious to what's just happened there not long before. And she's walked in and she's thought it's strange because the handbag was on the floor. And she said afterwards, I just knew she wouldn't leave her handbag just on the floor like that. It's just, she just wouldn't do it. And then what, you know, whatever brutal thing had happened there not long before, and you're just walking into it totally oblivious, not knowing. It's quite scary, isn't it?
To New York. And then when I entered the kitchen, she always had a tea, like in a certain cup with her, and a granola bar, and she ate it every morning. It was just part of her routine, and it was there. The tea was still full, and the granola bar was still there. So I thought it was a little strange, but I just figured she was in a rush because I knew she had to get to the city. So I just cleaned the cup of tea and I put the granola bar away.
Oh.
As you were cleaning the cup of tea, did you notice the paper towel roll on the countertop near the sink?
Yeah, so the paper towel roll was empty, so I went in the pantry to go grab another one and noticed that there were only 2 rolls of paper towels left, which was odd to me because the night before I just put 12 rolls in there. But it gets.
Wow. So she'd put 12 rolls of paper towel there in the cupboard, and she went to get a paper towel, a roll of paper towel, and there were only 2 left. So you know, I mean, how thick of him to use the paper towels. This is what I mean. How clever is he? He's obviously not watched Dexter or any of these crime things. You know, he's not exactly public enemy number 1 in the intelligence stakes.
Yeah, and I thought maybe the kids spilled something, and they used a lot of paper towels.
Yeah, but when are you going to use, literally, when are you going to use 10 rolls of paper towels? Bloody hell.
Did you do anything else when you were inside the house?
Yeah, so usually I would go in and I would go in the kids' room and like fix up their beds or put away some clothes. And then after I left to pick the kids up from school.
What time did you pick the children up from school?
I think it was around 12:30,
I'm sorry.
like 12:30.
And where did you pick them up?
A New Canaan Country Day.
Which children did you pick up from school?
I picked up Petros, Theodore, Constantine, and Noel because Krishan was going to go home on the bus with a friend and spend the afternoon there because she didn't need to go to the orthodontist.
Where did you take the children once you picked them up?
So we went back to 69 Wells and had lunch.
Did you notice any blood-like substances inside the home while you were having lunch or prior to picking up the children?
No.
Approximately how long did it take to eat lunch?
Like 20-ish minutes. We were pretty fast.
After you were finished eating lunch, what did you do?
The kids went and like got their iPads for the car ride, and I just like cleaned up quickly, put everything away, and then I texted Jennifer because Noelle couldn't find hers, and so I asked. We had like a family iPad, and so I asked if she could take that instead. And then we got in the car and headed to New York.
Did Jennifer respond to your text message?
No,
So what did you decide to do without her having responded?
I just took the iPad. It was a long car ride.
During the car ride, did you try to communicate with Jennifer?
So right before we left the driveway, I texted her our ETA and that we would be at Gloria's. And then I just started driving. And then I texted her when we got to Gloria's.
Did you ever try to call Jennifer?
Yes, after we got to Gloria's around 2:30 and she wasn't there. And I was supposed to meet Jennifer at Gloria's. I wasn't supposed to go to the orthodontist. I was going to be heading back home, but she wasn't there. And so I called her around 4 o'clock.
And when you say Gloria's, just to refresh everyone's memory, Gloria is Jennifer's mom, is that correct?
Yes.
And she resides in Manhattan?
Yes.
And she has an apartment in Manhattan?
Yes.
And that's where you were supposed to meet Jennifer?
Yep.
Had Jennifer replied to either of your text messages
No.
prior to trying to call her?
No, none of them.
If I can just pull those up. So beginning Friday, May 24th at 12:43 p.m. Hello, we're home and eating. Noelle can't find her iPad. Is it okay to take the iPod? Is it okay to take the iPad? And she does not respond, correct?
Yeah.
And then you texted her again, leaving now, ETA is 2:30. And she does not respond, correct?
Yes.
And at 2:30 exactly, you text, just got to Gloria's. Approximately how long after sending that text message did you try to call Jennifer?
I don't remember. I think it was close to that other text message, but we meet you at the dentist.
And why did you send that message?
Because I hadn't heard from her. So I didn't know if I was I've been to their orthodontist. It says dentist, but it was orthodontist. I've been to the orthodontist before, so I knew where it was and I brought them. So maybe I was going to meet there because maybe her appointments ran longer. I didn't know.
Did you go to the orthodontist with the children?
Yes, I did.
How did you get there?
We took a taxi.
Did Jennifer meet you at the orthodontist?
No, she didn't.
How were you feeling at this time?
Really bad. The second I called Jennifer, it's like my stomach just sank because she never not answered her phone. So I was really hopeful that she just got caught up with meetings and she was going to be there. And so when she wasn't there, I was shocked, but also like, okay, I have the 4 kids in front of me. I don't know what to do. So I just put them into their appointments, and I I just walked outside and I started to call people that could have heard from Jennifer.
Who did you call?
Well, I called my mom, who was trying to calm me down and tell me all these things, that I needed to call the hospitals because maybe she was in a car accident. And then I called her friends.
And based on those conversations, what did you do next?
Based on those conversations, I got the kids, they finished their appointment. I got them in the cab, and I had Noelle bring Jennifer's iPad, or family iPad, but it was connected to her Google and her Apple ID. And so I decided to bring the kids back to their grandmother's. I went in the cab and I went to her appointment because I was able to pull up her Google Calendar and what appointment she had that day. So I went to one of her appointments.
And were you able to make contact with someone at the appointment, or at the location of the appointment, I should say?
Yeah, they were able to tell me. I just needed to know if she made it, and they were able to tell me that she didn't.
What did you do next?
I called her friends again, letting them know what was happening. And then I decided to take a cab back to Gloria's. And it was from there that myself and Jennifer's friend Laurel called the police.
Which police department did you call?
New Canaan.
Excuse me. And what information did you give to the police?
What information did this witness give to the police? Overruled.
Your Honor, I'd like to be heard outside the presence of the jury.
Overruled.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I apologize. You can answer the question.
We told the police that a mother of 5 was missing and that she was in a very contentious divorce. And I knew that he had purchased a gun, and so I was afraid. And they were on it right away.
I don't claim that part.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the portion of the testimony that this witness knew Fotis Dulos purchased a gun is stricken. You may not consider it for any reason.
Did you ever receive any communications from Mr. Dulos that night?
Yes.
What type of communication?
He called me in the evening.
And did you answer the phone?
No,
Why not?
I was afraid.
Yeah, so she, as soon as this happened, when she went there and she couldn't get hold of Jennifer, this nanny, as I was saying earlier, because of what she'd already seen of the way that Dulos treated Jennifer, she just knew inside that he'd done something to her. So she was scared of him. She was scared of him. You know, how awful. I mean, him deleting himself, that's no loss to this world. In fact, it's probably good, really. I hope he's suffering now. You know, he's paying for what he's done in the next life. Please, God, let there be some, you know, karma in the next life if he didn't get it in this life. The effects, you know, the children, well, what he did to Jennifer, obviously. So Jennifer is not there anymore. The children, their effect on their life, the effect they've had on the nanny's life, the effect that it's had on Jennifer's parents' life. Everybody's affected. Even Michelle, the Troconis, she's got to face the music. But I when I look at her, I don't see that she's sorry in any way. To me, she's just thinking she's going to beat this. She's going to, you know, she's a socialite. She comes from a rich family. She's probably had everything she's ever needed all her life, had things done for her. And now he's sort of left her to cope with it. But I don't think, she doesn't look like she's really worried about it. Not to me anyway. I mean, maybe she is worried about it inside. She doesn't look very worried.
Did you eventually speak with him?
Yes.
And can you describe that conversation for the jury?
Yeah. So he called me and I called the police because I wasn't sure what to do. And they told me that he's not a suspect, so you should talk to him because I have his kids. And so I decided just to call him back because I didn't want to like anticipate waiting for the phone call. And so I spoke to him and it was a very weird conversation. He asked how the kids were doing, but like didn't talk about Jennifer or really what was going on, just like saying, oh, this is really weird, and immediately went into that he had a supervised visitation that Saturday. I think because it was Memorial Day weekend, so he had a day, it was like a special thing, and that I needed to make sure that I left New York early enough that I got the kids to him to New Canaan for his supervised visit. And he was just very adamant, like, Lauren, you have to make sure that they're there. They need me. You need to bring them to me, like, be early. And then the conversation ended.
And did you also exchange text messages with Mr. Dulos that night?
Yeah.
If I could just pull them up, that's folder 2. And once again, were these screenshots from your phone that you shared with the police department?
Yes.
Okay. And you indicated to Mr. Dulos at 9:49 p.m. on May 24th, hello, no updates so far. Laurel is at the police station right now keeping me updated, but they don't have anything yet. They looked around the house, but it all seemed fine. I'm trying to get the kids to get some sleep. You sent that message, correct?
Yes.
All right. And his phone responded, okay, thank you. Please call me first thing in the morning. And then you responded, yes, I will. If I hear anything tonight, I'll let you know. Is that correct?
Yes.
And he responds, okay.
Okay, more or less we've seen. I know for those of you that are coming in later.
Conversation that you had with
I'll leave it because yeah, there are people coming in later.
Was your additional communication with Mr. Dulos done strictly through text message?
I didn't have any at that time other than that evening. I didn't talk to Fotis at all.
Well, I'm referring to these messages here that
Yeah.
you're seeing. This was after your telephone conversation, correct?
Yeah, it was only through text messaging.
And if we could just continue on to Friday, May 24th at 11:38 p.m., he asked you, still up, any news? And you responded, no news. They're still searching though. Got kids to sleep. Is that correct?
Yep.
Continuing on. And then, I'm sorry, could you scroll just there? Okay. Looks like there's part of a message that's cut off. It says, thank you. Are they okay? Are they worried? And you responded, they're doing okay. They're worried, but I'm trying to just keep them updated as much as I can to keep them at ease. I'm happy they got to bed. So presumably the children had fallen asleep at this point?
I think I was referring to the night before that they got to sleep.
Okay. And then he responds, okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. And you respond, okay, good night. Is that right?
Yeah.
So when he says see you tomorrow, he's referring to Saturday, May 25th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that was for his visitation?
Yes.
Were you intending on bringing the children for visitation?
No.
Why not?
I was afraid, and I wanted to keep the kids with myself and Gloria.
Yeah, so there you go. The other thing that the nanny said, let me come back to now. the other thing that the nanny said was, oh God, it's gone out of my head what I was going to say. She, you know, we said earlier how she was scared. She was scared because she had seen the other side of Fotis Dulos. She had seen him when he lost his temper with Jennifer. She had seen him when he hadn't realised she was there. She'd seen him totally freak out at Jennifer. And then when he realised that she was there and one of his children, he totally backtracked and started talking differently. So she knew that he had this bad side. And so as soon as Jennifer went missing, this nanny did realise that it was likely that he had something to do with it. So anyway, she's given her evidence. So this is the trial of Michel, who's left, you know, to face it all because he's taken himself away from it. As David, I think, said earlier, he has saved the taxpayer a lot of money with not having to keep him in prison for all these years. But he's denied the family, if you like, his own family, his own children, denied them of the truth of knowing what happened to their mum. Where is she? You know, where is she? Where is her body, at least to be able to give her a funeral, if her body is still intact, or has she been cut into pieces and disposed of, or has she been buried somewhere? At least, you know, Michel Troconis will probably know exactly where Jennifer is, and certainly his attorney, the other guy who, you know, they were supposed to be going to murder his wife as well, he will probably know where she is. So, you know, at least one of them hopefully will do the right thing. Hopefully one of them will do the right thing and say where she is. But maybe Michelle, if she's found guilty and she goes to prison and she's trying to plea bargain for a better, you know, a lower sentence, maybe she'll come out with some information then. Who knows? Oh, I've just said that. Jean's just said exactly the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, maybe she will tell for a light. Well, she won't do it till the last minute, will she? It's only if she feels what happens in these cases is they always plead not guilty. And then if it's coming near the end of the trial and it looks likely, you know, because of the evidence that they're going to get found guilty, that's when they normally start sort of maybe trying for a plea bargain. So we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, Maria, 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. I think it's between the ages of 13 and 17. So practically 1 child a year over 5 years they had. So, yeah, I mean, really, Michelle, if she's got any sense, to be honest, she wants to, you know, Fotis is no longer with us. So Michelle really should be throwing him under a bus, whatever, because she could really be just putting it all down to him. But she's got to give some information. I mean, she'll be hanging on with that because see if she can get found innocent. She's probably hoping that she can just walk away from this with nothing. But when it comes to the time when she's realizing she is going to get some jail time, that might be when she decides to give more information. Yeah. Okay, so that is the very sad story of Jennifer Dulos. But the reason that I'm doing this is a case I've been interested for a long time, and this Gone Girl connotation in it. And I just want to say, you may hear it on the news of talking about Gone Girl. It's nothing like the Gone Girl book or film, because in Gone Girl, the woman did, you know, deliberately try and make it look as if her husband had killed her. And this is not what happened in this case. So it was him. I think it was him who tried to draw this comparison, because he was trying to insinuate that Jennifer had left him and, you know, was trying to make it look like he'd done something to her. Poor him, you know, and that isn't what happened. So if you ever hear that sort of connotation around this case, it's not true at all. Ooh, David. Oh, I'm not even going to read that out. I can't read that out. How revolting. Ooh, anyway, so, oh God, let's change the subject now. So remember the Burns night. Now, a lot of you have sent me some Scottish things in. Keep them coming. It's brilliant. Jean, I got the email that you sent. I loved that. I'm not sure whether I can use it because of copyright. I'm trying to find out whether it will get me stung for copyright or not. But it's a shame if it does because I did really like that. So yeah, let's look for, I mean, I'll be online before the Burns night next Thursday. Probably Sunday will be the next time I'm on now streaming, or with a video or whatever. But ooh. Did you know, sort of, I said, oh, one time I went into a friend's house with my friend. She was on holiday. She'd gone to the UK and she asked me to go in and feed her dogs, take them for a walk, and the cats. So she had loads of animals. And I walked into her house, and unfortunately, we're not actually friends now. But anyway, it's a bit of a long story. But her house was a little bit like these houses that you see on Hoarders, on the telly, like, it wasn't very nice having to go in there and even just for half an hour, like, not nice. And one time I went in there and oh my God, I thought she'd murdered somebody because the smell, I've never smelled anything like it. And you know what it was? It was a piece of pork that she'd left in the microwave. She'd just forgotten it was in there. And the smell, and that had maggots and everything, was so disgusting. Honest to God, I can't even tell you what it was like, but it was quite typical of this person's house, to be honest, because this person's house, it was disgusting. And sometimes you think, oh, your house is a bit untidy, or my house is not perfect ever, but it's not dirty. Do you know what I mean? It's like untidy sometimes. But this smell, oh my God, I've never saw how she couldn't have noticed it because she'd only been gone a day. So it was like, and when I messaged her and I said, oh, you left a piece of pork, and she didn't even say. She was a very strange person, but needless to say, that's why we're not actually friends anymore. But I think that must be what it's like, for a human body or whatever. The smell, they say it's a smell you don't forget. Oh my God, I'll never forget that. I don't think I've eaten pork since. It was disgusting. Anyway, horrible. Cannot even tell you. But I just don't know that she didn't smell it. It's like, ready for when she gets home, Kelly said. Oh God. Anyway, okay. So yeah, don't forget, send me any Scottish things. That's a good idea, Jean. I might see. I was wondering how I could contact them and just say, look, do you mind if I use it? Because it's good publicity for them. And things they've got a YouTube channel and they've got like several things on it. But I really enjoyed it. Oh, Jean. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm glad I've already eaten tonight. That's all I can say. Wesley, that's really interesting about Bob Marley people. Oh God, these people with snakes and you have to feed them like animals and stuff. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. No, I couldn't do it. Have we ended up talking about this at the end? I'm just so glad I'm not having to go off and have my dinner now, and I've already had my dinner. So next time we meet, we won't be talking about. It's your fault, David. You started this. You started off this conversation. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, look after yourself. Remember, you're the most important person. Don't leave your pork in the microwave because it's not nice. And until I see you again, may your gods be with you. Oh, okay. Bye.